So I had this practice that I wanted to give everybody today, and it's called the Peace Index. I'm going to share my screen. For those who are looking, I'll be able to explain it well enough that you shouldn't have to be confused or look it up. But this is not my what is that word I'm looking for? Model. I am actually going through a certification right now with an organization called Giant Worldwide. And Jeremy Kubicek, who is the co founder of that, he is not only speaking at FounderCon this year, he is additionally one of the teachers inside of the Founder Academy. And so for me to come under his leadership and guidance, he worked alongside and owned a lot of the rights for John Maxwell for about 20 years and helped him develop the initiations that he has now and the initiatives. And in 2008, I believe it was, he just felt like, God, like I love doing this for other people, but I'm kind of dry. I feel dry here. I know that there's more that you've called me to. And so he went out and in 2012 established Giant Worldwide. He was living in Russia at the time, so it's alongside someone that he is connected with is out there, which is incredible. And his idea around the coaching industry, around the leadership industry specifically, which is all of us here in Founder, is that we have the 21st century model of education and learning to be a leader. Unlike the past, which I'm still probably a recipient of, is just like, here's a book, read the book, and then you'll be transformed. And it's like, yeah, that's good, but there's essence of that like you're not really processing education in the same way now, especially with us as visual learners, having aids of visuals and video all the time. We need both and in order for us to really cement the things that are being put to practice. And so Jeremy and his co-founder have established over like 63 models currently where you can visually see the thing that an entire book could give you, but it's a one-off that you can draw back to yourself. You can teach around, you can coach around, you can develop teams around, and ultimately even families, which is one of the things I love most about it. And in the space that I'm practicing it most right now is personally and in my family unit, so that as we practice it, I now have testimony to then give out to you all. So I practiced this a couple of weeks ago. I was at another founders event here in Virginia Beach, and it happens once a quarter. It's called the Leader Core Summit, and it's at 7:30 in the morning. A bunch of these leaders are coming together, and they're learning. They're learning about specific things like this, and they did the Peace Index. So I did all of the work. I have like all of my notes in here, and I sat there with a totality of peace that equaled. I'll give you my exact Peace Index. This was a month ago, at 65%. 65% peace, and I thought, wow, that's like barely half glass full. That's not okay. One, in the heart posture that I have for heaven to be crowded and for us to do the work that we get to do every day. If I am operating from a barely half full cup, how am I able to do this? Now, I knew because of some personal things going on that I was not operating at my highest caliber. I knew that I was weary. I knew that there was a lot of grieving that was happening. And so it's not like this was news to me, but when you see something in this number format, you really take thought and I'm an action taker, as you know. So I'm like, okay, how do I increase this? Even if it's just by 0.5% today, what do I do to protect my peace and to grow my peace? And so looking at this model, I'm going to pull it up here. It allows you to know exactly what area do I need to focus on in order for me to enhance my peace. And so if you're listening and not looking, it's basically like a wheel and there's a centrifuge holding this particular wheel. Think of it like a wheel or spokes on a bicycle with a center point. The center point is obviously your peace percentage. It's your peace index. And then around the spokes is purpose, place, provision, physical health, and people. And these are the 5 indicators of understanding what your peace levels are and where you could potentially tweak. It reads here in the explanation, which I really liked, is that when our peace index is high, we tend to think more clearly and without distraction. Can I get an amen? I want to think more clearly, and I do not want as much distraction. Our minds can be the biggest battlefield. And it also says that we tend to view obstacles more as challenges, and we tend to operate from a place of secure, confident, here's the word again for me, humble leadership. And in short, you'll be better at being able to be your best and to liberate others. And so their model of leadership is not about like activating leaders. And that's something that I've been really intentional around. But instead of activating leaders, it's around liberating leaders. And so creating freedom inside of people to operate and flow and exist so that they can free other people. And I have a sweatshirt that says free people, free people. And I love it because it's so true. Like hurt people. They say healed people, heal people. But really, Jesus is the healer. But free people, man, freedom is like a magnet. When you're free, others want to be set free and they want to know how you got set free. And we always know that the Prince of Peace is Jesus. So while that's a plain glass version and the Peace Index is plain glass, I have the stained glass because we know the truth, the way, the truth, and the life. And we know it biblically, and we know it's sound, and we know that it works. And so here are the questions that I'm going to prompt for you, for us, as we start into this new year, not for it to be something that we're just like, okay, here we go, ready, set, run, to actually be intentional. You guys know I love this word, rather than busy, intentional about the way that you steward yourself, which you then steward your family, which you then steward your team, then you steward your organization, and then you steward your community. And so this is a circle of influence that we are able to establish here.